Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, September 9th, 2015. And we're going to turn music... No. Did I say I was done? I did not. First off, music off. Second off, start new game. Let's stick with practice for now. Okay. This game is Utopia, Creation of a Nation. Very fun little game for the Super Nintendo. I adored this game growing up. It's a lot of fun. Basically think SimCity in space. That pretty much sums it up, I think. Yeah, that... Oh, okay. I'm about to say, that didn't look like life support. Okay, now, first things first, you're gonna need some power stations here. Now, the game really does advise you, oh, you should totally make a bunch of, solar panels and solar generators, because they don't pollute and all that. And yeah, but here's the problem. When the sun goes down, which it does for a month, you lose all power. You lose lots and lots of power unless you've got a lot of fucking flux pods, and I usually don't. Okay, so this week in Kyrix. How has this week been for Kyrix? Well, I'm back online. It's a bit slapdash, but it's there. I have a cell phone now, a smartphone that I didn't necessarily care to get, but yeah, it happens, I'm really not a smartphone kind of person, because, well, I don't like butt dialing people, and that's what smartphones are designed to do. In a very big way. Okay, we're not... In practice, there are no hostile critters, so we're not going to need any landing pads at all. And, since this isn't a playthrough, we're just going to let time unfold while I talk. Anyway, the smartphone cost me like $25 or so. My part of the plan is $25 a month, which I assume is good. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever paid for a cell phone because it's always been part of someone else's plan, Which this is too, but I'm paying for my part of it. Anyway, it comes with a wireless hotspot, which is what my computer is currently linked up to. I actually went up to McDonald's to get some YouTube videos a little bit ago because... Well, the hotspot does let me go online, and it does let me do a lot of things. However, YouTube is not one of them. That's inaccurate. It lets me watch YouTube, but in a, let's load like 3 minutes of video, and then you can watch that and pause for 5 minutes while we upload the next 3, one of those things. It buffers, and then pauses, and then I watch that, and it buffers the next bit, and it makes it so that I have to watch 3 videos to get uninterrupted YouTube-ishness. So I said, fuck that, went up there and downloaded some. At this point, Eisen the Broniac, Eisen the Animaniac, whatever you want to call him, he is in the middle of a Mega Man 7 Buster only run. So it's a challenge run for a friend of his that he did for as a birthday present kind of thing. So go over and check it out on his channel. I may or may not remember to link it in the description. But Eisen's a pretty cool guy. Boheban's a pretty cool guy. So go check that out. It'll be fun. The only thing that stopped me from watching is the fact that the aforementioned buffering thing happened, so I decided, I'll just get some sleep, and in the morning it'll be on. What I didn't count on was the kitten jumping on the frickin' keyboard and closing the window. Yeah, she's good at that. So I downloaded it. It's in my queue to watch. I'm also watching a sort of a spoof thingy that the Honorable Grouse guys did, Chirokujo and Zorak, of Chased by Sea Monsters with Nigel Marvin, where they basically say that Nigel Marvin is one of the greatest monsters of all time, And it's fun. I don't know if they're being serious with it, because it is a fictional thing. It's him supposedly going back and interacting with creatures from the past, So obviously complete fiction, but I don't know to what extent they're serious and to what extent they're fun. you know, just goofing off. But it's a lot of fun to watch. You should watch it over on their channel. I think it's inorbitalgrouse.com, something like that. Just look it up, you'll find it. So I'm watching that also. I'm watching the Runaway Guys because they just started another Fortune Street. I love the Fortune Street maps. And this is what I'm talking about. These eclipses last an entire month. So if I didn't have these power stations, I could very much expect the sun to come back only to find that I have no power. Okay. I got some living quarters. Let's get some security. Not a lot, but some. Like, let's get one here. And let's do one right here. Gonna need some hydroponics to feed all these new people. As you can see in the upper corner, we've got, from the left, QOL, quality of life, 40%. I've never gotten that to 100. As long as you don't get it too low, you're fine. If it does dip too low, they will rise up and oust you. So don't let it get too low. Damn. CR credits, I have 465,500 credits. It's the 27th of May, 2090, and we are going to go, whoops, these are my advisors. We'll get to them in a little bit. We're going to go here. This is where I can, let's put the civilian grant up to about 20 grand. That sounds yummy. Okay, these show what we have and what they're producing. Arms labs make weapons. Chemical plants only over fuel deposits will create fuel. Mines over an ore deposit will create ore. Shipyards make ships. Tank yards constantly, and that's important, make tanks. Shipyards only make the ships you tell them to make. A tank yard will make tanks until you run out of materials or bulldoze the tank yard. I don't know what workshops make. I think they make gems. Anyway, and these are the stuff I have, like fuel. I could buy up to 16 fuel for 4 credits apiece, but I have no place to put it. Food, yeah, let's buy some food, just in case. Or don't need it right now. Gems, just because I don't know how to get them, I will buy them. I have some weapons, won't be needing them, so let's sell them. Can I? Oh, no, I don't have, never mind, that's cost. And tech, which I think you just get from laboratories. So yeah, what else? Yeah, see, I didn't get any issues there, because yay. So yeah, I've been watching them. Working more on Summon Night Swordcraft story. I don't know if I had started that at the time, but I am on like day 3 of the game. There's like 13, 14 days in the game, which doesn't sound like much, and in fact is not very much, but don't think I built one of these yet. But the thing is, there's lots of grinding because I have taken this to absurd levels, and it really is absurd. There's literally no reason for me to be playing the game the way I am, but I totally am. Basically, in the game, you have to craft. We're gonna say that I started this at 11:25 for the sake of argument, so we're gonna run this till about 12:30-ish. So it might run a little long, might run a little short, don't know. But anyway, you craft different weapons: swords, axes, spears, knuckles, and drills. Don't know why a drill's a crafted weapon in a semi-medievally way, but fuck it, drills. Anyway, you do this with 4 components and mystical ore. The 4 components are air, lightning, fire, and water, and certain weapons need certain things. Like early on, I was having trouble because I needed fire, and I was only getting little itty bitty bits of it. And later on, it's like, oh, well, now everything I use uses water, and you get the idea. Each weapon has a tech stat, basically showing your mastery of said weapon. And I have been making every single recipe. Not a big deal. That's normal. It's completely normal. I have been mastering every single recipe. That's a little more abnormal because you don't need to do that at all. You can check on the map. No ore deposits, no fuel. Okay, we're pretty good to build here then. Just shit like that, you know. It's just... So, making every weapon, that's not... Or getting every recipe, that's not that bad. Making every weapon, sure. Mastering every weapon, getting a little extreme. Keeping every weapon, that's stupid. Because what you're supposed to do is, like, let's say I decide, ooh, I'm going to use swords pretty much exclusively. So I make all the swords, and when I get a better sword, I break down the old sword and use the materials on my new sword. Since I'm not breaking them down, we're going to say yes to that. Since I'm not breaking them down, that means I need all new materials every time I make a new sword. Which means a lot of grinding. Now, I still don't know exactly how it decides how many colonists I have to work, how many colonists are needed for each work, but it does. It totally does. And we're going to double up on a row. Actually, we're going to just put these here for now. Nope, I guess we're not. I guess we're not. Yeah, in a couple minutes, I'm actually going to look with my advisors and see how I'm doing. Oh, by the way, every month you can trade again. And it's a new month, so I can trade. Do I want to trade? Food's doing good. Don't have any ore. Got some tech. Or they've got some tech, but I don't necessarily want it. I don't know what tech is for in the game. I really don't. See, I always rented this game, and since I rented it from, like, Albertsons, it never really had an instruction manual. So I have no idea what half the mechanics of this game even are, even after all these years. And going on GameFAQs, most people don't know either, or they just don't see the point in explaining it. FluxPod. Now, FluxPods serve two purposes. For one thing, they apparently, I only build them when I don't have people to build them. But yeah, for one thing, you can only build 12 squares away from a FluxPod. So if I don't put a FluxPod near stuff, like say, now that this is here, let's say this is the most distant one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, as you can see, this is pretty much my limit for that. And I have to build within that box. Secondly, let me choose this thing so I can go up here and poke the flux pod. They store power. This one stores 40 power. Now, here's the reason I make the power stations. Okay, you see this? Power output 4 megawatts. 50 megawatts. Yeah, I have to make 13 of these to equal one of these. And right now, space isn't exactly at a premium, so I could get away with it. But again, note that if there's a power outage, and I don't have enough flux pods storing power, we will have no power. And there are two stages of a blackout. There's the first stage where a lot of things don't work, and there's the second stage where even your command center doesn't work. Speaking of which, it's time to trade again. So we're going to wait on the trade just yet because I want to see something here. Does it say? No, that just says the thing. So we're going to look at our advisors here. I think it's you? Yes, you. Food. Produced and used. We're not making enough. We need more food. Air is fine for the foreseeable future. Power is more than fine right now. Yeah, we're good. We're real good, in fact. But I don't like that complete and utter lack of food. So let's fix that. Shall we? Aww. So yeah, I've been working on Summon Night. It's the grinding that's taking all the time. If I were to just blaze through this game, I could do it in about 2 days at the most, and that assumes reasonable, normal amounts of grinding, and not the ridiculous shit I've been pulling. I'm so close to being done with Final Fantasy 1. It's really just a case of me deciding whether or not I want to just say fuck the bestiary, because I only have, outside of the last dungeon, which I haven't entered yet, there are only 2 enemies that I haven't filled in. And if I don't do those 2 enemies, it's going to drive me nuts just months and weeks and years from now. Then, oh, suddenly, boom, you never finished this. Wow. 2 enemies, that's all it would have taken, blah. Or do I want to spend the obscene amount of time grinding those out? And I don't really have an answer for that. I wish I did. That was the wrong button. But yeah, until my capture card gets fixed or replaced or whatever it is I'm doing, then I'm probably replacing it. I'm almost certainly replacing it. I don't know of anyone who can fix a capture card. But until the capture card is replaced, like you do, this is going to be This Week in Kyrix. I hope you like the game. It's a long, reasonably boring game. It's something you're not going to be lost in the spectacle of, like, oh my god, Kyrix is doing a thing. Who cares what he's saying? He's doing a thing. Nah, it's dull. It's a lot of fun to actually play, but it's butt-ass boring to watch, which is kind of the point, Woohoo! Pollution control. We've researched Captain Planet. Woohoo! I was talking to a friend of mine, which you know is Jay. You've seen him with me on Henri's, what are they called? The Cards Against Humanity's games. And he agrees with me with my idea that I'm going to mix up This Week in Kyrix. It's not going to be just, oh, he's playing Minecraft again. No, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Starting next year, I will instead be doing The Sims 3 Pets. And this is entirely Lucagen's fault. Because I saw her live stream of The Sims, and it just looks so fun. I've been wanting to do this for a year now, just about, if not longer. No, it's been about a year. Because it was back in the trailer that I first saw it, and, well, we've been here about a year. So, yeah, the flux pods at this point, they're not needed for purposes of expansion right now. This is just so that I have power storage for later, This is about the only way it becomes economical to make solar anythings. By the way, solar panels will eventually be upgraded to solar generators, which double their output. Ooh. Which basically means that you instead need 7 things instead of 13 to equal 1 power station. So it still sucks. That's not to say you shouldn't make them. Like, if you have an alien race that's very hostile, that's ground-based, you just put solar everything's in the way so that they have to chew through those to get to your actual structures. And you know what? We don't have one of these. This is important. We gotta have bread and circuses for the masses, after all. Let's put up another security station. Okay, what else we got here? Sure, let's build a couple arms laboratories just so we have something to sell. Sure. We'll buy men for credits. By the way, I'm sure I made this joke before, but you ever see those things like, oh, no blood for oil? That's true. Don't give blood for oil, because turns out human blood's worth a little bit more than oil is. Not as much as printer ink, though. Someone has a shirt that says, "No blood for printer ink," you slap that person, because that's a good deal. One of my friends, probably Jay, showed me that. It's like, yeah, human blood is worth less than printer ink, and I fucking believe it. Because I've seen what John and my niece get for selling their plasma, and I've seen how much it costs to buy printer ink. You know? Okay, what else do I want to make? Workshops. Let's make some workshops. I don't know what workshops even do, other than create jobs, but they do a thing. I know that much. Okay, so yeah, I've been working on Final Fantasy, been working on some other stuff, been paying bills and such. With some luck, my new roommate, I should say extra roommate, he's not replacing John or my niece or mom, but my new roommate should be here on the weekend, hopefully bringing some money to bail us out, because we are, my niece put it best, we're fucking drowning here. She said that she got a hold of him and he said he'd be here this weekend because she told him how bad it was. Like, wow, I didn't realize you guys were in that much trouble. But yeah, we're totally in that much trouble. But hopefully next week I'll have some good news. Like, oh, we paid a big chunk of the power bill this week, and next week we're going to pay more of it. I could go for some good fucking news for a change. I really could. Starting to piss me off a little bit that I'm being this fucking broke. Sure, let's build some radar. And some fuel tanks. Yeah, fuel tanks are good. Fuel tanks are just so that when I start setting up my chemical labs, they will have a place to put the fuel so I can sell it. Fuel tanks are a little blurf because, for one thing, I don't usually play the levels with the aliens in them. I mean, there are aliens here, and I can attack them, but they don't ever attack back. I can never completely destroy them, etc., so it's kind of pointless. Quality of life's dipping. I'll see why in a couple minutes. Actually, fuck it, I'll see why now. What are they bitching about? God damn it, I hate this. Okay, what do we need? Okay, more hospitals, sure. What do you got for me? And you... Oh, we're doing fine now. Power's a little sketchy, but I can fix that. No, you can suggest it, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm working on it. And this guy... Honestly, until you run into aliens, he really doesn't have anything to say. Yeah, like I said, I'm just sick of being broke. Especially the stupid levels of broke that I am. Just a whole fucking string of hospitals right here. Oh, you might have seen the birth rate low. I can change the birth rate. I can make it so the population's more fertile to fill things out more, and... Yeah. Good thing I don't have any solar panels that I'm relying on. Not that I'm knocking solar energy, but in this game, when an eclipse laps an entire fucking month, it matters. Now, if it were like, oh, the eclipse is a day, fuck it, we lose a day. But it also takes a month to make that power deficit back up. And, yeah. Not good. Give me a second here. Not sure what on earth fell, but something fell. I had to reach under my table and turn off the heater because it's too fucking hot in here. Longtime viewers of my channel may remember that I really like it warm. My room is probably 83 degrees right now. Because sometimes I just want to be toasty. And right now, this past week, I've wanted to be warm. Keep in mind, it's like 82 outside. In the house, it's like 78, 79, which for me is normally a comfortable temperature, but for whatever reason, I'm fucking cold. I don't know what it is. But, yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to have some good news soon. Hoping to be able to pay these fucking bills, get some real internet so I can stop going to McDonald's at all. I mean, I love this phone. I do. The phone's working good for me. But it's not a permanent solution by any means. It's a fucking stopgap. Like, I cannot conceivably run my D&D games that everyone's still begging me. People have been begging me for a while, like, oh, you still gonna run D&D? Yeah, I'm still gonna run D&D. I just can't right now. The only thing holding me back is my complete lack of reliable internet, you know? If I had some reliable internet, I'd be running D&D right goddamn now. But I don't. And for the record, this is kind of normal for me. Normally, I have it more spread out. I've never had it so perfectly cubed before, but nonetheless. Still no fuel deposits. Alright, so we're going to do a thing where I start stretching out with the Force. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah? 12. Yeah? Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. And over here, perfect. All right, that should do it. In the meantime, let's do something about this potential power shortage I've got going on. I just love how these things look. They look so just impressive to me. I don't know why. They just look so future-y to me. So, no Star Trek this week. No Kyrix either. Partly because I'm holding on to money, and partly because it was supposed to be a Shield draft, which I don't care about the Shield set at all. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but they got a new mechanic in Heroclix that I'm pretty much done after hearing this. Build-A-Figs, where there's parts of a figure in certain boosters that you can use to put together something like, right now I think it's the Hulkbuster. And my response to this is no, because it's a stupid fucking idea. And here's the thing, I've been on board with every fucking gimmick they've had, pretty much. I was on board with Colossals when they first came out. I'm like, oh, the Sentinel, that's a pretty cool idea, you know? I was on board with the big Colossus. I was on board with duo figures, with normal-sized figures on the big base, depending on what they are. Like World's Finest, sure. First appearance Spidey, no. I was on board with team bases. I thought that was an awesome idea. I was on board with vehicles, resource styles. I was on board with all this crap. To an extent, I was on board with primes and epic actions, you know? But this See, it was bad enough. I've never liked the concept of chase figures. I don't like the idea of, oh, buy this so that you can compete, or buy 100 boosters so that you might pull this one figure that'll make you a better Clixer. That's stupid to me. That doesn't. I mean, if you're not a collector and you pull a chase, it's the best thing ever. But if you're a collector and you don't have all the money in the fucking world, chases are stupid. Give me a second here. Either I put dirt in this sheet or the cat's dragged litter into it. I will remake this bed such as it is when I'm done. Okay, woman. Yeah, I don't like the concept of chase figure. I put up with the concept of super rare, so I'm not as crazy about that either. You know? And then they brought out the Prime, which is really just another form of chase. They just slap another thing on it. Like, oh, here's a common Prime and an uncommon Prime, a rare Prime and a super rare Prime. There's still only one per case, or one per brick. So it's still a fucking chase figure. They just don't call it that, you know? Now, for example, if the common primes were like, say, 4 to a brick, which means you've got a 40% chance of pulling it, and the uncommons were like 3 to a brick, and the rares were 2 to a brick, and the super rare was 1 to a brick, but you got more than one prime, that would be different. That would be kind of cool. Of course, the concept of a prime is you can only have one prime in your team, period. Doesn't matter who it is. Like, I can't use the Catwoman prime and the Abin prime, you know? I can't use those together for any reason. Okay, let's... There's the ore. Okay, cool. Any fuel deposit? No fuel deposits. Well, that's just a bitch, isn't it? Okay, very edge here. Let us build a flux pod, so that I can build when I need to build here. And we're going to build a radar station to replace that one, because we're tearing that one down, because it's in the way of an ore deposit. But yeah, I mean, it's just... And then there was the fact that, oh, let's have multiple resources, and some of them are available in tournaments, and some of them you have to pull out a booster. Wasn't too crazy about that, but I'm like, you know what? That's just me being pissy. It's fine. But on top of that, now, no, I don't need missiles. Now there's Build-A-Figs, which is just going to be the new chase. If it isn't now, it will be, you know? Mark my words, they're going to have like, oh, well, here's the Hulkbuster's right leg, and that's a common. Here's the Hulkbuster's legs, and that's a common. Here's the Hulkbuster's base, and that's an uncommon. Here's the torso, and that's a rare. And here's the arms, and that's a super rare, you know? And here's the card, that's a chase. Something like that, you know? Where it's a 5-part thing, and one part's going to be part of each rarity. So you're going to have a bunch of people who have like 1,000 legs for it, but nobody has the complete fucking thing. And I'm fine, like I said, I'm fine with gimmicks that are gameplay gimmicks. Like team bases, that's a gameplay gimmick. Yes, you had to buy them. They were like $20 a piece in the box. But still, it was a gameplay thing. You know, it's not like I have to buy 100 boosters to get a team base. All I have to do is buy the team base booster. Oops, sorry. I moved the controller. Yeah, this thing's uncomfortable to just sit on raw leather, so I'm making this thing now. Fortunately, the game doesn't really require much input on my part. But, like I was telling my friends here, the reason I'm getting so mad about this in particular is because this Build-A-Fig thing doesn't advance the game in any way. This Build-A-Figure thing is a gimmick that is designed solely to make you buy more shit. And I don't like when gimmicks only exist to buy more shit. You know? I'm working on the living space, damn it. I mean, if there's a Build-A-Figure, it should be a thing. I mean, it should be something like, Well, it started out as an Iron Man armor, but it should be like, oh, well, I can put this on here, and this gives me this thing, and then it's basically resource style. Like, oh, I can make this one figure, and these are the plugins I can do. Like, oh, well, I'm gonna use the Hulkbuster armor that I built, and I'm gonna put the range combat processor in, so I get Psychic Blast and Range Combat Expert. I'm gonna put the adamantium armor to get impervious, and I'm gonna do this so I have flight. And it just becomes a resource style, which already exist and don't require you to buy a billion boosters to get every piece. And like I said, I don't know what the rarity distribution is in here. For all I know, you got a 50-50 shot with every booster of pulling one. That doesn't change the fact that it starts that way and will be something else later. I fucking promise you. I've been playing this game since it came out. That's how it's going to go. And even the whole thing of, oh, it's just a play to make you buy more shit, wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that they don't make enough crap. They make too much crap, but not enough of it. Which means we get sets every other month. I swear to God, every other month there's a new set out, and it's really... nobody can keep up with it. Our judge is a nurse, and with his money, which is the best any of us makes, he can't keep up with it. His friend was a nurse as well, who got a promotion, got different hours, and couldn't keep up with the schedule either, but that was mostly because he couldn't get the days off. But again, even he had issues with the pricing. Because again, most of us, to at least some extent, collect, which means we buy as much as we physically can, you know? And it's troublesome, to say the least. Okay, so we got that. Now I'll check this out. Scaffolds. One more. I'm so glad that unlike Sim Earth and Sim Ant, this thing's map isn't all screwed up on the Super Nintendo. Because then I'd never find anything. But yeah, that'll give me some ore to trade. Anyway, like I said, it's a cash grab, and I understand it's a company that's supposed to make money. But then you have the fiasco like Giant Size X-Men, where it had huge demand, and they sold out, or everyone got all their stuff, and then you tried to order more. Oh, we don't have any more, so we didn't get more. War of Light, that's the worst one. That is the most asinine thing they've ever fucking done, was War of Light. Cash in very late, mind you. If they'd done this a year or two earlier, it would have been even bigger than it was. But they try to cash in on the popularity of Green Lantern, which was popularized by the whole War of Light saga. And they'd done one before called Fear Itself. And Fear Itself was a special 6-month event, and you had to buy special Fear Itself boosters that were only available during the tournament. Like, you couldn't just go down to Emerald City and I want 3 Fear Itself boosters. Well, you could, but that's just because our Emerald City was full of fucking scumbags who didn't know any better. But that's beside the point. You couldn't go to a legitimate store and buy Fear Itself boosters until like 6 months later, and that's if they had any left. And most of them didn't, because what most stores did was they would let you buy any leftovers, basically going from the winners down, you know. But Fear Itself, like, each place was allowed a case, maybe 2 cases if you were a big spender. So that's 20 to 40 boosters, period. And you're supposed to give 2, basically enough for 10 people to play. And if you're a big store, you might be able to throw another tournament, like some of them did. Like, we did a local store, well, not local for us, it was an hour away, called Yancey Street, which was a pretty good place to play. I've played in worse places, that's for damn sure. But anyway, Yancey would have like 2 of these a month, and I'd go to all of them. And then Emerald City would have one we go to, and I'd go to our local one, and just stocking up on shit. Trying to complete the Fear Itself set. Well, War of Light's like, oh, we're doing it just like Fear Itself, but we're doing it differently. First off, there's 2 waves. It's not 2 full sets, but it's a 60-figure set plus like 8 other things, like 8 chase figures. But the odd number figures are in wave 1 and the even number figures are in wave 2, so it's kind of split that way. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, I guess. And then they're like, oh, well, guess what? You can order as much as you like. And I heard that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. So we can basically order 14 cases a month of Wave 1 and 14 of Wave 2. What that would mean is Wave 1 and 2 were supposed to be Month 1 and 2. Or Month 1 and 2 were supposed to be Wave 1. 3 and 4 were supposed to be Wave 2. And 5 and 6 were supposed to be 1 Wave 1 and 1 Wave 2. 14 cases would allow 10 players to have a case each. Right? So that's 10 gone. Then 1 case for month 2, 1 for month 1 or 3, depending. 1 for month 2 and 4, 1 to split between 5 and 6, and 1 for the judge. That way, everyone would get their full War of Light fix. It would be awesome. We'd all have all the Lantern figures we needed or wanted. And granted, we wouldn't have that many because we never had 10 people to begin with, but that's totally a thing we could have done. And at the time, I had the money to make that happen because I spent over a fucking $1,000 on that damn tournament. But 3 months, that's important. 3 months, maybe even 4 months before it was scheduled to start. Like, yeah, we sold out completely. We don't have any more. What you get is what you get. You're just going to have to live with it. And all of us said at the same time, oh, that's no problem. Just make more. You've got 3 months. It's not like the day before, oh, shit, we received 20,000 orders and only made 15,000. Well, then 5,000 people are getting their shit late, or not at all. This is a case of, oh, well, we got 3 months to go, and we got 20,000 orders. We're only going to fill 15,000 of them. You're not going to make any more? No, we don't like money. What the fuck? The stuff was sold. There's no reason not to make more. And it gets worse. They had the lantern batteries, like the Green Lantern battery you got for doing the tournament, plus 6 things for free, right? Plus there was a 7th thing that if you bought the starter set, it was the green shield item, right? They announced that, oh, we're going to release the other 8 lantern batteries. And they're going to come in 2 packs, red and violet, blue and yellow, orange and indigo. And black and white was going to be convention exclusive. And each of those would come with 7 constructs. The 6 that come from month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, that is the crossbow, the net, the catapult, the nurse, the decoy, and the boxing glove. And each one would have an exclusive, which existed in other things, but like red had the axe, and blue had the bulldozer, etc., stuff like that. And we're thinking, okay, this is great. We're each going to order a full set. Like, I had 6. Well, I had 3. I had each of the 6 things ordered for me to pick up. And, ooh, some results. And naturally, when the, oops, that's the wrong button. When the order finally came in, much to my surprise, there were only 2 boxes. Each box contained 1 full set. Like there was an orange red, or an orange indigo, blue yellow, and red violet. So we had 2 of each lantern pair. We were expecting significantly more than that. You can imagine how well this went over. Skinner wouldn't have gotten his at all if I hadn't gotten there before everybody else and grabbed his out of the box. Grabbed mine, paid for it, grabbed his out of the box, sat it next to me. Because the judge's friend, who most of us didn't get along with, he, you know what, we're going to call him Jerry. That's just the name. Simply because a friend of mine referred to him as being prematurely geriatric. Because he's younger than most of us, but he acts like an old man. He eats like an old man, etc. That's what the judge tells me. He's got so many old man tendencies, so we're going to call him Jerry for geriatric. Anyway, Jerry comes in, and he wants to buy a whole thing, and he's got his eye on Skinner's box. I'm like, nope, this is spoken for. It's like, well, does he have the money? I'm like, that's none of your damn business. He comes in later, and of course he does have his money, and he takes it. He was very grateful for the fact that I held it for him, considering nothing else was there. Meanwhile, the driver comes in, because I didn't know which one she wanted priority over, so I couldn't speak for her. I knew Skinner was getting the red one. And she was pissed to see that they were all gone and basically made, I forget it was Jerry or the judge, give up one of theirs. Yeah, they were buying 2 each, when rest of us were lucky to get 1. So that, and WizKids just really dropped the fucking ball on that. And then they announced, oh, we're gonna release constructs for all the stuff that we haven't done, like the green sniper rifle, etc., and the blue battle axe, and all the stuff that the other factions have that you don't. We're releasing them at Gen Con, and we're thinking, oh, that's gonna be great. So of course we're telling the judge and everybody who's actually going to Gen Con, we're telling them, hey, do us a favor, get me a full set of the blues. I like blue. Oh, get me a full set of the reds, etc. You know. Come to find out that basically you would get 1 for winning a tournament, period. So, like, the judge came back with 2 things for Violet, or something like that. And it was really fucking stupid. One of our friends who placed 2nd in Worlds, 2nd in the whole world, he got to choose one color. His color was orange, and he got all of them for orange. So, of course, let's say I wanted to get something as simple as the blue sniper rifle, which lets me take one of my blue lanterns and give them a 10 range. Or give someone a 10 range and make them a blue lantern if I'm using the thing. Very useful for blue lanterns, by the way, because they get Perplex, which operates on their range. I would be looking at like $130 for one, because WizKids fucking borked the distribution. So then months later, they say, oh, we're going to release all 64 of these things, and we're going to do them in little blister packs. Well, not blister packs, you didn't see it, but little blind bags in 24 in a box for $60 a box. So, yeah. And then months later, even after that, like as in like 5 or 6 months ago, back when it was no longer relevant, they announced, hey, we've got extra War of Light stuff, and those of you who still need stuff, we're going to hold a 2nd set of tournaments. And my response to you is, go fuck yourself. You had your chance to sell us those things, and you blew it. All we asked was that you release shit on time. That's literally the only thing we asked of you. Okay, 1 away from the top. Flux pod for the win. So yeah, I'm just so fed up with what NECA's doing with Heroclix. Now granted, NECA also releases Star Trek, but Star Trek has yet to fall into this bullshit. It's just a much better alternative in every way. And it's sad because I love Heroclix, I really do. If I had the money to really keep up with this, if I ever won that lottery thing, that $500 a week for life thing, and I just had, let's say, $300 to burn a month on clicks, I'd stay in clicks. I really would. But let's be honest, even that's not enough to finish a set. I need at least like 3 cases to make sure I get all the chases and the primes and the fucking inserts. And when you have to spend as much a month on Heroclix as you do on Rent to get everything, you fucked up your game. I could take that same amount of money, that same, let's say, $500 right now, and get every single Star Trek ship that I'm missing. With the possible exception of the Dominion War stuff, because they're like $100 a piece, you know? But I could get every single retail ship that I'm missing and a couple of the other ones With $1,000, I could literally finish the set because it cost me about a little over 1,000 to get like 70% of the set, and that was back in like February of 2015. And they've released a couple ships since then. I have all the prize ships since then, but they've released 3 a month, so February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Let's say October 10. Let's even say November. Okay, tops. Let's say December. All the stuff that's left. That's 33 ships at $15 a piece. Come here, phone. You're going to help me do math, because I'm hopeless at that. Oh, that's cute. And, oh, daily bonus. Give me that. I need that. Anyway, let me just stop playing the My Little Pony Game Loft game for 5 minutes and look this up. Let's see, where's my calculator? Oh, I need the actual big thing, don't I? No, take me to the big spread. Big spread. Oh, this one. This is the big spread. Calculator. What did I say it was? Yeah, you're looking at $495 for all those ships I missed. So with, say, $800, I could finish all of Star Trek right now if I had that kind of money. Just if I had it to burn, $800, I could be done with Star Trek. And then all I have to do is keep up with new ships, which is $45 a month, and new tournaments, which is even less than that a month. We're looking $15 to $26 a month, depending on exactly what it is. You know, more if there's blind boosters involved. Do I have the Space Moss converter yet? I do not. That's a little strange. Normally I have that by now. Anyway, like I said, I couldn't. And that's the thing, is I've been trying to get Anubis into Star Trek, and he's all excited, like, oh, once I'm done paying you, I could afford my own stuff on Clicks. I'm like, yeah, or you could get caught up on Star Trek, which is something that's much easier to keep up with, because you can collect in Star Trek, or you can just say, oh, I want to play just Klingons, and then you just buy all the Klingon shit. With $45 a month that he just has as spending money, there's my Space Moss converter. I could have him caught up with Klingons in like a year. And that includes the expensive Klingons, like, say, all the prize Klingons, especially the Dominion War Chitang, which is frickin' $100+. Okay, so we go to the bottom there. Okay, now we just wait. But, yeah, I mean, the worst thing he could possibly choose would be Federation or Borg, because Federation has the most ships of anything, and the Borg have more prize ships. Or rather, they have a larger concentration of prize ships. Federation has more prize ships because there's more Federation stuff. But the Borg, like, a third of their ships or more are prizes or somehow involved in tournaments. You know, you can't just... You cannot complete more than a fraction of your Borg set off the store shelf, is basically what I'm saying. But here's the thing. If he wants to, like, I'm probably going to start holding the tournaments a little more locally to the point where he can bike to them. Or walk to them like I've been known to do. I have almost everything. Almost everything that's ever been made, I have. And all he has to do is come to me and say, hey, Kyrix, I want to try out Klingons. Hey, Kyrix, can I try your Romulans? Hey, Kyrix, I'd like to see how those Bajorans work, you know? And he can just play them. Just borrow them, and he's like, oh, dude, I love the Bajorans. The Bajorans are the best faction for me, because I like the little ships. because that's what Bajorans have, is just a bunch of little ships. Like, I love how good they are for their points, you know, I can swarm people with them. Kyrix, will you help me get the Bajorans? I'm like, okay, Anubis, here's what you do. Take your $45 and give it to me, and I will hook you up. I will give you the Bajoran fleet from hell. 4 months tops, you'll have everything you want. You'll have Deep Space Nine. You'll have a bunch of Interceptor number 5s, which are very good to play as generics. You know, you'll have everything. I'll finish the Bajoran set for him. Because it's only like 4 ships and Deep Space Nine at this point. You know, it's not a big faction. Or it could do something bigger, like, oh, Kyrix, I'd love to do all the independent ships. Well, that's a stronger order, but nonetheless, it can be done. You know, I could hook him up. Well, shit, now I don't need radar at all. Let's see how much ore there was just floating around, shall we? It's quite a bit. What's up here? What's this? That's, oh, okay, that's just ore, but it's, oh, that's ore that's in my radar screen. That makes the sense. That's why it's a different color. Yeah, look at that. I just barely missed that huge deposit of fuel. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Now, see, in this non-aggressive version, I do fine with just these 2 detectors, but if I were in a an actual thing where I'm competing with aliens, I would need radar just so I could spot them as an early warning system. See, that's a big-ass fuel deposit. I'm probably not going to need a fraction of these, let's be perfectly honest. But yeah, like I told Anubis, I'm like, dude, play Star Trek. You know, it's a smaller field, especially now that our driver has moved. That's one less major contender you have to deal with for the ships that I have, you know? For now, you're just borrowing stuff, but before long, you'll have stuff. Like, he has the Kyrix, which is a Romulan mirror universe ship. And he has the Kyrix because I needed to get an extra thing so that I could ensure that I would have a judge prize, because the NECA site erroneously said there was only 1 of each grand prize, which meant that the player would get 1, but I wouldn't. When in fact there were 2. So I managed to swipe another kit so that I would guarantee it. Well, here's the thing. I ended up with 6 prizes. No, 8 prizes. No, it was 6. Never mind. Something like that. But, hold on. Yeah, 6 prizes. The problem is I only tend to have about 4 players. So I told him, here's the deal. You give me $15, and, or no, you give me, what was it, $5? Yeah, I told him, you give me $5 and I will just give you the Kyrix as a prize, because that'll recoup the cost of that second thing. So he got a $30 ship for $5, and he kept wanting to trade it or sell it. I'm like, dude, hold on to that. That can be the start of your fleet, you know? And I'm going to continue to try and sell him on it for his own good, if for nothing else, simply because he really can't. I can't afford clicks, and I have more money than he does. There's no way in hell he can do it, you know? It's a fact. It's not even being cruel. It's a fact that unless you are a fucking millionaire, you cannot keep up with clicks. You just can't. And it's sad because it's such a good game. Star Trek, on the other hand, right now, you can keep up with it because they hold their value, you know? And there's also the fact that, according to the judge, sometime next year, I think, like in February or something, we're going to have like a Superman Wonder Woman set. He basically said, yeah, after that set, I'm out. I mean, he's said that a couple times before, but our player base is dwindling. There's just so many sets. This year, we were supposed to have 4 sets, period. And we've had significantly more than that, I'm pretty sure, by now. I mean, let's see. We've had the Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've had the Age of Ultron movie. We've had the Age of Ultron bonus set. We've had, I want to say Trinity War was this year. There was another set that I can't even fucking remember. But yeah, we've had a lot of sets. And we can't fucking keep up with it. And it's just too goddamn much. I can't keep up with it. He can't keep up with it. It's not fun for him. He has one of his roommates now can't make it at all. So that means that both of his roommates used to play and now neither of them do. And both because of work reasons. So we're down to like 4 regulars, period. And I was one of those regulars, and now I'm not. And people keep saying, "Oh, we're interested in coming," and we'll see him one week and never see him again. You know, so it's just not self-sustaining anymore. And we have to buy so much fucking product just to justify everything. And it's too goddamn much. None of us can keep up with it. Whereas if I were to get Star Trek going in a big way and make that our new thing, if we all switch to Star Trek, it'd be child's play to afford the product that we need for Star Trek. It's not that much. You know, because I've been ordering like one of each thing and been able to get a couple kits each time. So we just got to find out what it is per kit and just order that. And once my finances get stabilized, I'm more than happy to buy one of everything that comes out. I will chunk $45 a month into that store. You know, I love that store. But like I said, it's just pain in the ass. Oh, and I wanna put this out there because I noticed it wasn't last week, but for the past several weeks, I have been going on the anti-Superman rant because of the various Superman Goku death battle things, and I still fall very strongly into the thing of Superman was poorly written there. I want to go on record saying I adore Superman as a character. I'm one of those people who loves Superman. It's like, oh, Superman's boring. No, Superman's an awesome superhero. It's just that he's written incompetently in the comic books because everyone has their own idea and nobody comes to a consensus of how powerful Superman really is. On the one minute, oh, I can tow the planet. On the other minute, oh, God, Darkseid punched me in the chest and now I can't breathe. Wait, I don't have to breathe. It doesn't matter. Darkseid punched me hard. You know? I've never died, and yet here's my Black Lantern self because I died once. It's just, come to a fucking consensus, people. Seriously. It just pisses me off that they can't do that. I mean, it's not like he's a publicly owned thing or something, you know? I mean, it's not like, say, like he has 6 different owners. DC Comics, oh, there's power outage. Well, damn. Let me just have a look-see here. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Build a couple of those real quick. Oh, there's my solar generators. I'll build me up a couple of these, and we shall have le power. Perfect. Anyway, I'll let you go with that. See you next week. Maybe with more Utopia. I don't know. It depends on my capture card. I do know this. The guy that I bought, the one that doesn't work for me, I want to stress, it works. It just doesn't work on my operating system. But the one who sold me that basically said, do you want to send it back? So I'm going to be sending it back, hopefully getting a refund, and getting a new capture card. Whether all this happens in time for next week, don't know. I might even be able to get this little thing to work, the old one, at least in a stretch. We'll see. So it could be more Utopia, could be more Minecraft. Next year will be Sims 3, because he really sold me on that. I really like where Sims 3 could go. And I kind of like the fact that Sims 3 will be a lot like this. Sorry about the hiccups. Where it'll be very hands-off, so that I can focus more on my rant and less on the gameplay. You know? But I want it to be different than SimCity, which I managed to freaking just go from nothing to Metropolis in the span of an hour. I mean, I've been playing this for the full hour-ish, and this is all I have to show for it, right here. That's not a lot. I mean, look at all this map I have to expand on. There's not a lot going on here. So there's a lot of potential for growth and expansion and other fun shit. There we go. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.